Chuck Todd, who is anchor, I put that in quotations because anchor actually used to mean something, but he's really more of a commentator there on MSNBC. And he's about to go to the same exact event that freaked out Jake Tapper because people are, high-fiving Donald Trump. And he refers to them as MAGA Hispanics and says, this is just so horrible, basically. I'm paraphrasing, this ordeal that the country's going through because he's appealing to these people that come from Cuban descent or Venezuelan descent down there in Miami. They are MAGA Hispanics who have seen the threat of fascism or totalitarianism in their own countries, and they worry about that here. And so how crazy is this? How sort of perverted is this that he would actually play upon that? And he makes this big deal about MAGA Hispanics. And I would just say that was, again, another odd moment for the media. Because let's not kid ourselves. I mean, I'm not going to make excuses for Donald Trump and why he didn't turn over the 120 boxes earlier. He could have made life maybe a little bit easier for himself. But let's not forget the pure bias, both within the government and also within the media. I mean, that is for sure in existence. If it didn't exist, then, by the way, we wouldn't have had to go through the whole Mueller report. We wouldn't have had to go through the whole Trump dossier that everybody was convinced, including, I'm sure, Chuck Todd, Rachel Maddow, Jake Tapper, all these people, they were so convinced that was all real and that somehow Donald Trump was an agent of the Russians. And when you think of what this country was put through, when you think about the 51 ex-spies, now political hacks, that came out with that letter to Politico and said that the Hunter Biden laptop was nothing but a bunch of misinformation, when it turned out, what do you know? It was actually something that was under investigation by the FBI and continues to be under investigation by the FBI. Again, more on that in just a moment. Well, that kind of says it all, right? They lied. They lied to us. They lied to you. The media is in on the lie, and then they want to keep perpetuating it. So you can understand why maybe people who have come from countries where the government repeatedly lies to them, you can understand why they might have some sympathy for the situation. Can you not? And part of what they were trying to do at CNN, we'll see whether or not they're ultimately successful. I don't think they will be. I think that you have a lot of deep-rooted liberalism within the organization that prevents people that are there from really being able to see things clearly. And I say clearly, and I'm not saying like you got to be it's totally to the right, but you can't be so far to the left that you don't even understand the other side, right? And while big management, and I'm talking David Zaslav and of course Malone, who are over there that would like to change the organization and actually see a little bit more even-handedness at CNN, they can't quite get there because the organization itself has so many of these embeds that think and feel so strongly about so many of these issues. So to the point where they just can't understand why any of these people from Venezuela or from Cuba would actually look at what we're going through in this country right now and think, hey, gee, maybe there are some similarities.